Hey roasters, welcome in. I'm going to spend a little bit of time today talking to you about roast products and how you can leverage that perfect blend to add revenue to your roastery through private label roasting. So let's just dive in. So let's say that you're at your roastery, you have created the most wonderful and perfect espresso blend. It's fantastic. It's balanced. It pulls great shots. Everything about it is wonderful. It's one of your favorite coffees. You know that it's perfectly curated. It's always got the freshest in-season greens. You cup it all the time. The quality is always on point. And because of this, you are able to invest time into making sure that you have the perfect brewing and extraction standards. Good job, you. It's an amazing coffee. One way that you can use this espresso blend to add revenue to your wholesale and create a more dynamic and flexible product for your wholesale account is to do what's called private labeling. Private labeling means that you take your coffee and you put somebody else's name and label on it. So you take your espresso blend, your workhorse in your cafe, your favorite coffee, and you go ahead and add labels to it, and your espresso blend then becomes Bob's Espresso. You go and your wholesale account salesperson takes it over to Patty and sells it to Patty as Patty's Espresso, Justin's Espresso. Mary's coffee shop uses it as their in-house dark roast and they brew it, while Mike's uses it as his house blend. You've taken that one espresso and you've turned it into 5 new products. Under the label and inside the bag, it's exactly the same thing. And your customers are so happy about it because you've created something that has the highest level of quality. One mistake that I see roasters do when they try to think about private label or creating a personalized product for their customers is that they discount the time and energy that they've spent into creating their own blends that they use in-house. So somebody comes in and they say, I really want to have this really super special and unique coffee for my cafe. Instead of selling them on this espresso blend that they've already created, they go and say, oh, well, let's help you develop your own espresso blend. But the problem is that espresso blend is always going to be second best to what you've already created in-house because you've created the best espresso blend. You've created the best light roast. You've created the best medium blend for drip. Those things you've already done. So every time you go and try to put time and energy into selling something that might be unique, you're really discounting what you've already created inside your shop, and you're also adding a whole new layer of complexity. Because if you have 10 different blends for 10 different people, if Bob's Espresso is different from Patty's Espresso, which is different from Justin's Espresso and Mary's, you have added this layer of complexity that makes your blending and your roasting so much more time consuming. It creates a lot more room for error. And it also means that you probably don't have the time to put into quality checking and doing quality control measures on that coffee the same way you are on that espresso blend that you've already crafted and devoted so much energy to. So rather than telling Bob and Patty and Justin and Mary and Mike that you're going to create this custom blend for all of them, instead, sell them on these amazing top-tier blends that you've already created and offer them the ability to pick which one speaks to them and to create awesome labels or branding that matches with their own cafe and their own vibe. So that's a little bit about private label, how you can use that to leverage your wholesale customers. And you can turn Patty's Espresso into Patty's top-selling item. So you already have that great espresso blend. Leverage it, use it. But here's where it's going to get complicated. Once you take that espresso blend and you have all of those, if you take the labels off of them, it's the same thing in the bag, but getting the right label for the right customer and managing all of the details can get really, really complicated. You know that it's the same thing in the bag when you set up the account, but making sure that all of that information runs through your system, that the labels get put on correctly, that your production assistant knows exactly, knows that, Mike's house blend is the same as your espresso blend, is the same as Bob's espresso blend, that can get super confusing and lead to a lot of human error. So I'm going to introduce you to the RoasterTools approach. I mean, we've seen that adding these private label coffees can seriously beef up your wholesale accounts. It is an amazing, if you can do it correctly without making mistakes, it's an amazing way to offer a great service to your customers. So with RoasterTools, RoasterTools knows that inside the bag, you need all of this espresso blend. So just looking at this here, we've got 3 pounds of espresso blend. This is what we call the roast. So when you get into RoasterTools, you're going to see something that says roast. That's this espresso blend. That's the what's in the bag. You might also have heard, I think of this as like the production specification, right? It's what's inside the bag that you need to get roasted. So RoasterTools might look at this and say, awesome, you're going to need 3 pounds of espresso blend roasted to meet these orders. In the next step, it's going to tell you how to put the labels on, well, how to bag it, what size bag these need to go into. Maybe Bob's is a 16-ounce bag, but Patty likes a 12-ounce bag. Another layer of complexity, but the RoasterTools program can totally handle that. So RoasterTools is going to tell you step by step, it's going to tell you how much espresso blend to roast, because it knows that inside the bag, even though the labels are different, and what I would call the finished goods labels, finished goods specifications, so final product, it looks different, but inside the bag it's the same. So RoasterTools is going to tell you how much espresso blend to roast, how to package it. Is Bob's a 16-ounce and Patty's is a 12-ounce? RoasterTools knows. And exactly what label to put on it. It's also going to help you manage and make sure that you can capture any of the final details that can make things even more complex. What if Patty likes hers to be pre-ground? I don't know. That's how Patty likes it. You're able to manage that level of complexity and ensure that these products get to your customers without any mistakes. And when you combine the perfectly blended coffee, perfectly curated, fresh, custom labeled, and you manage all of those details and hit them all on point without any mistakes, you are going to have the happiest customers. You're going to set them up for success for building their business, and they are going to become loyal, paying, incredibly satisfied customers who will recommend you over and over and over again. So that's a little bit about the RoasterTools approach, a little bit about this whole topic of private label roasting. You can go to RoasterTools.com and schedule a demo where we can talk you through some of the particulars with your roastery, as well as how RoasterTools can really benefit your company, your roastery, save you time, save you money, and make you money. And if you have any comments, any questions on the YouTube space, feel free to leave some comments, leave some notes, and we'll get back to you. You can also go to our Facebook page and leave any questions that you might have with that. So, happy roasting. Have an awesome day.